Hi, I'm Seb and I've just finished the upper sixth form year of my time at the Grange School. So I've just been doing A-levels, so I did maths, further maths, economics and chemistry, and I'm currently waiting for my results, which are coming out in August. And I've just been asked to tell you a little bit about my experience with the Grange sixth form. What I believe makes the Grange such a good place to learn in the sixth form is that the relationships and the way that you're taught is in a slightly different way to kind of how years 7 to 11 were. So it's a much more interactive process and it's much more independent. So I really like the idea of almost it's a bit cliche, but what you put in, you get out. So when you're working through what you're doing, if there's any additional support that you need, or if you just physically want to push yourself further than the syllabus is currently doing, that support is there and available to you, and the teachers will be there to guide you in that process and help you to learn. I think another thing as well is the class sizes are generally quite small. Take, for example, my chemistry class in the upper sixth was only 5 people. So instead of it being more like a normal lesson and almost lecture taught where a teacher will stand at the front and talk and you'll just take notes, etc., it was a much more discussional experience. And so if there's things that you can focus on, you can pinpoint much more what the teachers can help you to do. And I think that's something very special that you often don't hear about with schools. I'm currently waiting to study economics at Cambridge, and so the school was very helpful with the whole process behind my Cambridge application. So I believe they started in around December of lower sixth time, when there is a bit of a parents' evening and they're talking through your progress and subjects. And I was sat down with my economics teacher and he was kind of talking through possible university options, and it was at this point that he kind of gave some reading recommendations, things that I could be looking at, because I think the university process, what the Grange does, it almost builds it up, it builds you through it in the lower sixth, ready for your application early in the upper sixth. And so with my Cambridge process, at the very start of the upper sixth, I had an entrance exam in the October half term, which for economics, there was an economics component and a maths component. And so the maths department, even though I wasn't applying for that subject, put on weekly sessions for people with admissions tests to help them through the process. And the Oxbridge coordinator helped set up, I think, 4 practice interviews for me to do of varying kind of aspects of economics. And it was a process where by the time I went for my interview in December time, I felt very prepared about what they could give for me and that I had all the information I needed to go through the process. Some pieces of advice which I would give to someone looking at joining the Grange sixth form is to really make use of all of the opportunities available within the Grange, whether they be academic, so having access to go to certain conferences or join in extra sessions to really engage with what you like to learn, because it really helps people to find their own niche, as it might be. But also, I think non-academic is an extracurricular is very important to consider at the Grange, because I'll talk a bit more in a minute about it, but it's got an excellent sports system, a great charity system, and so no matter what your interests are, even if it currently isn't available at the school, they would always try and find a way to include or incorporate some of the things that people were really looking for to gain out of their experience, because it's quite a small school in comparison to many others, and so with that kind of the smaller size, it makes your voice almost louder in a sense. And as the students in the sixth form, you can really help to shape and drive the school around what you enjoy. And also, probably the other best piece of advice I could give is to really find your own balance in terms of your work life, because you have a lot more free time than you previously would in the lower down years, but the Grange is very good because it allows you to really find a good balance. So with your free periods, you can choose to work in them or choose to relax and work at a different time, and it makes you much more flexible, something which I found to be really good. So if I needed to finish my work in a week, then come the weekend, I could have it generally quite free and I could go out and I could do other things. So I think the flexibility is something that you really need to think about yourself, which you can make great use of and do as many things as you like and still have time for what you really enjoy, or even some downtime. As I mentioned before, there is a wide range of extracurricular activities available at the Grange. So, for example, in the sixth form, a couple of which I was involved in was the rowing setup. So I was captain of the rowing club, and we were competing at kind of high national levels, and a few of us went to Great Britain trials for under 18s. So I did that quite seriously, and the support network was all in place to help me kind of strive for excellence within that. And also, on the other hand, I played football in the school second 11, which for me, I still want to do well, but it wasn't kind of of paramount importance to me, the success. So the second 11, for example, was very good at catering for people who'd like to try something, and it wasn't all about the results, which sometimes school can feel very focused on those sorts of things. And so it was good to be able to get out, enjoy yourself a bit more, and not feel all of the pressure. And so the extracurricular activities, they allow you to find things outside of academia that you really enjoy and choose the level at which you'd like to do them. So whether it even be something like charities, which I was involved in a lower sixth expedition. There was a trip, they do a yearly trip to the Gambia. So I partnered with a school over there, and it was a very eye-opening experience, and something which not many places are able to offer. And so you work as part of a team, a charity team, before you go out there. And so I think most of the kind of activities available are generally kind of driven by teamwork, and the Grange and its network will always find a way to help you do things that you'd like to do, no matter what sort of things they may be. And I think that sums up the school as a whole. It will always find a way, as far as it can, to help you do whatever you'd like to do, and it will support you in those decisions. So yes, that's my take on the Grange sixth form, and I hope you found it useful.